Hello, hello. Facebook Live for Module 3, Lesson 1, Lowering Your Barriers. Hello, hello. Well, I wonder what we'll create today. So I'm gonna start talking. You guys may come on, you may not. So this is designed for you guys to get more out of the program, get more out of the modules, encourage you, hello, hello, hello my friend, to encourage you guys to really start to play with these modules in any order you want. It's really for if you guys have any questions, if you want more information, but today we're going to talk about lowering your barriers. Hello, Teresa, I've missed you, my friend. Yeah, No Judgment Diet starts to go on tour in 2 weeks. I'm so excited I'm going to be in Marin County and then Glenwood Springs for those of you, for you Coloradoans that want to come play in Hot Springs. I know, I miss you too. So today is Module 3, Lesson 1, all about lowering your barriers. And one of the things that I was looking at actually today, so what I've been doing is I look at the module, I look at the lesson, and then I get in front of the mirror. Hello, Lola, nice to have you here listening. That's awesome. So what I do is I look at sort of the topic of the module and the lesson, and then I get in front of the mirror and I play with the tool. And so today I was like, wow, if I were to lower my barriers every time I looked in the mirror, and if you were to lower your barriers every time you looked in the mirror, could you fight against any point of view you have? No. Right? And so it's really interesting. Ah, what a nice surprise. Hello, Cherie. Yes, we've been doing the modules. So we're on Module 3, Lesson 1, kind of doing it one module or one lesson a week, which has been really fun, to play with the tools, to get in front of the mirror, to listen to the clearing loops, and really to start to see like a continuation of this course, because you guys get this course for life. Right? It's not going anywhere. And we want to encourage you that the more that you use it, now I know for me, like I'll go back to a class and I'll listen to it and I'll go, what? I don't even remember saying that, or I didn't hear that before. And so the more you listen, the more these tools integrate into your life as if there is no effort, right? And there is no need to try. So one of the things with lowering your barriers is when you have your barriers lowered, you cannot fight against any point of view you have. In fact, everything becomes an interesting point of view. So when you look in the mirror and go, so I will. Awesome, Lola. She says, please be explicit on what it's meant to lower your barriers. I will talk about it. You got it. So one of the things with lowering your barriers is when you get in front of the mirror or when you're in front of somebody and having a conversation, our barriers usually go up when we're resisting and reacting or aligning and agreeing with a point of view. Now, most of the times when we're aligning and agreeing with a point of view, our barriers are lowered, but we're not necessarily being interesting point of view. So what do I mean by lower your barriers? Well, any point of view that you need to hang on to is you keeping your barriers up, you keeping your points of views in place, right? So lowering your barriers literally means, you're so welcome, to push down any need to fight for or fight against any point of view you have. So when I look at lowering my barriers from a physical standpoint, it would be two things. One, the analogy would be the equivalent of trying to float in water. So when you're in water and you're floating, you literally have to completely surrender to allowing the water to hold you. Right? You have to surrender to trusting your body. You have to surrender to just breathing and floating without anything. And the minute you start to tense up, guess what? You stop floating, right? Now, if you have a lot of muscle, I used to have a lot of muscle when I was little, and I would sink all the time. My barriers were not lowered because I was tensing up with my muscles to try and float, which did not work. And so from a practical standpoint with lowering your barriers in front of the mirror, the energy is the equivalent of floating in the ocean and just being total surrender to everything, right? No point of view, no thought, no fear, no worry. You're just like, oh my God, I'm just gonna float here and soak in the sun. And like, I know that when I lived in Hawaii, I spent a couple months in Hawaii in my 20s, and I would go out and swim with the dolphins. Well, in order to play with dolphins, your barriers have to be totally lowered. Otherwise, dolphins do not want to play with you, right? If you have a need for them to play with you, they'll go away. But if you have like this, like, oh my God, you're so amazing, what can we create together? Dolphins will start to come play with you. So there were moments when I lived in Hawaii where I would go out to swim out in the ocean and I would float and I would listen for their sound. And it was like this surrender and magic and ease and space. And so lowering your barriers when you're standing up, when you're not floating in the ocean, an example of lowering your barriers would be when you have the best experience with your horse. So when you feel like you're in total communion with the horse, when you're in total communion with nature, when you're in total communion with the universe, that's the energy of lowering your barriers. And so lowering your barriers is taking any point of view you have and literally forcing yourself to shove it down and out of your universe. So if somebody comes and fights you with a point of view to prove they're right, to prove something, if you want to fight back, that's your barriers being up. If you go, that's an interesting point of view from inside your head, then your barriers are lowered. So hopefully that helps with what I mean by lowering your barriers, but it's this ability and willingness to perceive everything without a need, a point of view, or a justification. So when you're getting in front of the mirror and you're looking at your age or your wrinkles or your skin or your size or your clothes, lowering your barriers is literally being willing to look at you in the mirror as if someone with no judgment and no point of view is looking at you and just seeing how beautiful you are. That's the energy of having your barriers lowered. And so what I was looking at today in specific was when my barriers are actually lowered, I can see me through the eyes of someone else with no point of view, with no judgment, with no need to cut myself down. And when there is no judgment present, you can be totally aware of all possibilities. Because the whole point of the no judgment diet isn't to necessarily lose weight. It's a benefit, right? To change your shape, it's a benefit. To have a greater sense of what your body requires and desires, it's a total benefit, right? It's a byproduct of this course, but the target of this course is to get you to see how aware you are, to get you to create your magical life using your body, because guess what? Your body does not have a point of view. Your body is willing to have its barriers totally lowered all the time. It's our head that gets in the way. So everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive the infinite possibilities of interesting point of view will you destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And so when you start to play with interesting point of view in the mirror, interesting point of view, barriers lowered with money, right? Barriers lowered with business, barriers lowered with allowing people to contribute to you, then everyone will see you as the contribution they desire you to be. And if you don't have a point of view, your body can contribute an energy to them. And guess what? When you have your barriers lowered with your body will contribute energies to you that you've been asking for. Does that make sense? Any questions? I love you guys. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type. But this really, like, I'm doing this kind of getting on live and having a conversation with you guys, because I want you to start to see like which module and which lesson pings for you. And also, if you are in a module and you're like, I really have a question about this module or about this lesson, then this is a place and a platform for you, one, to share your ahas, to ask any questions, to get clarity, and to see how you can add on to how you're already using the tools. Right. And when you lower your barriers and you don't need to fight any of your points of views about your body, about your age, about sex, about money, then what can you receive? Everything. Cool. Well, this is great explanation. Yeah, my sense is that when you're with horses, your barriers are lowered when you're having a great day with your horses. When you're not having a great day with your horses, chances are your barriers are up, or you have a projection, or you have an expectation, or you have a judgment, right? That's when you know that your barriers are up. But if you don't have a need to fight or justify or explain or project or expect or reject, then chances are your barriers are lowered. And if you were willing to be Lola, right? If you were willing to be as barriers down, interesting point of view with your horses as you are with you, I wonder what you would create. I wonder. Right? And that's true for everybody. Like, where are the areas of your life where you literally, your barriers are lowered and you're willing to be interesting point of view? Like with my son, with Duke, it's so easy for me to parent him and be around him and hang out with him with like, my barriers rarely come up with him. And you know, they do when I'm having a cranky day. But when Duke and I are just being and playing and receiving each other, there is no need to have our barriers up. And Duke's not really one to have his barriers up to anything. If something's not being a contribution, he doesn't have a point of view, he just walks away. But that's not his barriers being up, that's just more choosing what would create greater for him. So what if you guys, from no point of view, were willing to acknowledge and recognize what contributes to you and what doesn't, and walk away without needing to justify or explain why you're walking away? Just walk away. Like Duke, when somebody gets in his space and they're like, right? Like, oh, you're such a cute little boy, right? He's like, I'm not little. He'll just walk away. He doesn't need to explain or justify. So all of the judgments, agendas, inventions, and lies you're using to justify the fight against the ease with your body you could be choosing, wow, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So I don't think I can repeat that. I can try. But all the judgments, agendas, inventions, and lies you're using to justify the fight for the points of views you're choosing, or the fight against the body you could be choosing, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then one more. How many judgments, agendas, inventions, and lies are you using to justify the fight against the life and living you could be choosing? Wow. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. So I think that's all I got for you guys today. If you have any questions, please feel free to type or chat. And I wonder, like, what's showing up in your universe and what's changing for you in your body and for actualizing and manifesting that you're not acknowledging. And one of the greatest ways to lower your barriers is to have gratitude for you. That's a meme. One of the greatest ways to lower your barriers is to have gratitude for you. because gratitude is an energy that invites being. And when you're being totally you have your barriers completely lowered. Bam. Oh, you guys are awesome. So awesome. Yeah. So hopefully that helps with just what is going on. And this isn't to go, oh no, I'm not doing the modules or I'm not doing the lessons. This is to invite you to see where you can integrate these lessons and modules into your everyday living, right? Into your everyday living. Because this isn't about doing the program. This is about being the energy. That's all I gotta say. Oh, you guys are awesome. So I think that's it. Unless you guys have questions, comments, ahas, anything that's changed for you that you want to share or talk about, any celebrations, any acknowledgements. Yeah, and what I'll say too about barriers lowered is when your barriers are lowered, you'll begin to acknowledge the gift your body is to you. Yeah? So when your barriers are lowered, you'll begin to acknowledge the gift your body is to you. And the more you acknowledge the gift your body is to you, the more your barriers can lower and you can be aware of everything you and your body are aware of. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Cherie says we finally bought our rural property. Yes. Yes. And that's what I love is because when your barriers are lowered, you can receive every awareness of what you're asking to actualize in your life. You'll receive the awareness of what's required to actualize it. Cool. Aw, this is awesome. Lola says, I love you guys. I'm grateful to have the constant reminders and for you to remind us that we have downloaded reminders. Yeah, the downloads are there, the recordings are there, the clearing loops are there, the mirror is there, and guess what? You are there. Because as much as we try to escape from ourselves, we actually can't. And so this course is really inviting you to go, all right, are you willing to just acknowledge that you are using the tools? And when you're not using the tools, go listen to a module. You know, get in the membership and go, all right, which lesson is going to contribute to me today? Oh, module 4, lesson 2, right? Or today, module 3, lesson 1, which is lowering your barriers. Ask your body which one you need to hear. And generally, what's in the audio and what's in the video is exactly what you require to hear for the day. So I'm grateful to be here because we all need reminding how brilliant, amazing, and magical we are. Yeah. And if you guys if you know anyone in the California area, No Judgment Diet 3-day live event is going to be in California in 2 weeks. Hi, Celia. I missed you, my friend. Looks like you've been on adventures and adventures and adventures. And yeah, so what else is possible? And Celia got worked on, I think, by Dane, right? Which is so cool. So when our barriers are lowered, our bodies will create magic and miracles. Magic and miracles. I can't talk. But when our barriers are lowered, our bodies will create magic and miracles and actualize everything we've been asking for, but it won't show up the way we think. It'll surprise you. And your body, when you acknowledge your body for the gift it is, it will continue to give you surprises and possibilities and magic and miracles. So I adore you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. And if you're curious about a 3-day live event, I say get your butt to a class, because not only if this course has contributed to a live event is like nothing I can explain. So, Celia says, I have been in an adventure. I don't even know where to start, which is amazing. Start now. start with you, start with today, start with possibilities. And Celia, maybe you want to post in the Course in Possibilities and let us know the adventures. We'd love to celebrate with you because it's really cool watching it. It's really cool watching it. So I friggin' love it. I adore you guys. I'm so grateful for you. Let's do a 1, 2, 3, 4 to open the door to possibilities. I love you too. I want to hear about your adventure. So maybe post in the Course in Possibilities so we can celebrate with you. So on 4, let's open the door. Okay? Magic and miracles coming your way. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. And let's do a 10 for being the walking, talking photon interrupt, right? And a photon interrupt is basically where you are like a walking, talking, irrational interrupt that invites chaos to create possibilities. That should be a meme if it's possible. So on 10, are you ready to be the photon interrupt? Walking, talking, chaos of possibilities that's completely irrational. Because my friends, your awareness is irrational. Your awareness and what you're aware of doesn't make sense to anyone else. And when your barriers are lowered, you can be irrationally aware of everything. Yeah, 5, 9, and 11. It has been a blast. I don't get that it's for today, but we'll probably do a 5, 9, 11 on our next call if you guys are on the call. And maybe I'll do a 5, 9, and 11 the next Facebook Live. So you guys are welcome to scroll through and look at the past Facebook Lives, because what we're doing is these Facebook Lives are for you, for the modules, for the reminders, and then you have these to play with. And feel free to get into the group and ask a question. Yeah, the 5, 9, 11, not reading right this second, but I say we'll do it in a future. So on 10, walking, talking, interrupt. Photon interrupt on 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we'll do the 11s for the techies the next Facebook Live. So remind me, sweet. Lola says, I needed that 4 for magic and possibilities. Magic and miracles. Oh, I love you guys. You're amazing. Thanks for being here. Keep using the tools. Keep asking questions. Get your butt to a live class. And I can't wait to hug you in person and play and celebrate all the magic you guys are creating. So until next time, we'll do another Facebook Live beginning of next week, and keep your eyes out because we're posting in the group, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye for now.